morning on DC News Now. Last night's storms have moved out, but expect damp roads and some patchy fog for the morning commute. Meteorologist Jackie Layer has a look at the rest of your work week forecast. More issues at DCA.
I think there should be better communication between the military.
The latest incident causing the Army to pause flights near the airport. Rallying against wage cuts. Union workers fighting back against Mayor Bowser's budget. One day left for you to get your real ID.
The lines are going to be ridiculously long. It may be chaotic with people being flustered and frustrated.
The documents you'll need to secure smooth travel. DC securing the 2027 NFL Draft. Officials estimating a big economic impact.
A boost in terms of hotel stays and visits, a boost in terms of restaurant spending, a boost in terms of nightlife.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning and thanks for starting your Tuesday with us here on DC News Now. I'm Tanaya Wright.
And good morning. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. I'll be taking a look at your roads in just a bit, but first we want to talk about this weather, Jackie. And yes, some of our plans were ruined yesterday for Cinco de Mayo. I'm not going to say whose plans, but
well, hopefully those plans were a little bit earlier in the day, just because we did have that severe weather push in a little bit after 7 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, we did have several of those severe thunderstorm warnings. Those have since pushed out, so at least we have that going for us this morning. What's not going for us is the visibility. That visibility is quite low back out towards our westernmost areas, down about a mile or less from Leesburg to Winchester, Fredericksburg. You're less than a half mile there. About a mile over towards Luray, Woodstock, Shenandoah Valley, seeing that reduced visibility again this morning. We had it yesterday morning too, but some of those rainfall totals were quite impressive from yesterday's thunderstorms. Some of us received at least 3/4 of an inch. We were close to that in DC. This is radar estimated though. Some areas they receive at least a couple inches of rainfall, so certainly that is helping with that drought that we're dealing with across the area. Tracking the drier conditions for now across the region, but we could see that chance for an isolated thunderstorm popping up later on today as that low pressure system continues to meander over the Great Lakes region. So today, not completely dry. We're looking at a 20% chance out there, so not everyone's going to be seeing those thunderstorms later on today. High temperatures, mid-upper 70s, and we'll likely see a mix of sun and clouds at times later on today. Mix of sun and clouds out there tomorrow. Wednesday looking like the driest day of the work week, and then we're right back at it with yet a different system this time around for Thursday with some scattered afternoon thunderstorms. So more details on that, and I'll look ahead towards the rest of that 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Shanika's back with the important look at those roadways though. How's it looking right now?
All right. Hey, Jackie. Well, we are seeing delays, and this is along the Capitol Beltway, right in the 270 spur. You can see right near Bradley Boulevard in Bethesda. It's going to be a slow one. That's because we have a crash, and it is blocking the left side once you head over the American Legion Bridge. So this is from Maryland heading into Virginia. You can see that crash there really causing a mess for commuters. And again, be careful out there. Roadways could be slick, damp from yesterday and maybe some today. We're looking at the Capitol Beltway on the outer loop past 29. That's Colesville Road. That's going to be slow as well. Now, I am seeing reports of a crash right near Georgia Avenue. Expect delays in that area as well. And heading from New York Avenue into the district on the Maryland side of things, that's going to be slow. We also have this one crash, and that is over the Anacostia Freeway. We have the left side blocked right near Kenilworth Avenue.
All right, thank you, Shanika. Well, developing now, a school bus crashed into a house in Hopewell, Virginia. Now, that is just south of Richmond. Investigators say 4 students were on the bus at the time. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured, but you can see the damage to that home. Police say the weather may have played a role in this crash. And a former Maryland mayor has been indicted by a federal grand jury on several charges of child exploitation. Joel Bierman served as mayor of University Park from 2022 to 2024. Now, he is accused of producing and distributing child pornography. Police say he victimized children for more than a decade, including some as young as 12. He was arrested in October. If convicted, he faces at least 15 years in prison.
6:04 on this Tuesday. The Army is pausing flights near DCA following several recent close calls. Officials say 2 commercial planes had to perform go-arounds because of an Army Black Hawk helicopter flying to the Pentagon on Thursday. In a separate incident Monday, the FAA says a third flight aborted landing over a police helicopter near the airport. Now, the Army's announcement comes after 67 people died in January's mid-air crash between an American Airlines flight and a Black Hawk helicopter.
I think there should be better communication between the military, and commercial. I think that needs to be done.
The Army says the incidents are under investigation and that it remains committed to aviation safety. And for a 7th straight day, Newark Liberty Airport was hit with hundreds of delays and cancellations. And now Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling for an investigation. It's the latest in a series of issues linked to an air traffic staffing shortage. More than 100 total flights were canceled yesterday, while more than 300 were delayed.
And the Trump administration says it is going to pay immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally $1,000 to go home. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says DHS will also pay for travel assistance. Now, they will also offer a stipend for illegal migrants to return to their home country through the CBP Home app. President Trump also pushing Congress for a big increase in resources for immigration and customs enforcement. And Mayor Bowser is proposing to repeal Initiative 82, which is a measure that passed overwhelmingly in 2022 to raise the minimum wage of tipped workers.
Yeah, while many restaurant owners are in favor of the move, workers in the hospitality and construction industries are up in arms over the proposed change. Our Candace Cole is live outside of the Wilson building with more on all of this. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning. Well, the proposal to get rid of Initiative 82 is facing some heavy pushback from restaurant workers in particular, who really saw this as a way to finally earn the same minimum wage as everyone else here in the district. Now, later on this morning, hospitality workers and construction workers will rally outside of City Hall here at the Wilson building to urge Mayor Bowser not to go through with it. Now, Mayor Muriel Bowser made the announcement yesterday during a press conference to repeal Initiative 82 as part of her 2026 budget proposal during a press conference Monday. Now, the move would revert D.C. back to a tipped minimum wage policy for restaurant and other hospitality workers. Initiative 82 passed with 73% of the vote back in 2022 and is gradually bringing tip workers in line with everyone else, making at least $17.50 an hour. Union workers are now calling on the city council to stop Mayor Bowser from repealing Initiative 82. They also don't want the mayor's multi-billion-dollar plan to build a new football stadium that was announced last week to get approved without a firm commitment to, quote, high-quality hospitality jobs. Mayor Bowser said the repeal is necessary because the economic landscape which restaurants and other hospitality businesses are operating in is vastly different from when the initiative passed, largely due to the massive cuts in the federal government, resulting in a loss of about 40,000 jobs across D.C. Restaurant owners have blamed the measure for increased operating costs, which have forced some places to shut down.
Raising the minimum wage for everyone really limits or really shrunk the scope of getting to profitability. So it has made us, we've laid off staff or increased responsibilities for people, shifted responsibilities around.
Now, today's rally is set for 9 o'clock this morning, and we will bring you the latest with what those workers have to say. Reporting live outside the Wilson building, Candace Cole, DC News Now.
All right, Candace, thank you for that update. 6:08 this morning, happening today. Destination GC and Mayor Muriel Bowser are planning to reveal the district's latest tourism and travel data for 2025. At a rally later today, they're giving an update on the latest numbers of visitors and the economic impact it's having in the district. They'll also be joined by hotel and restaurant industry leaders discussing how D.C. can continue to attract visitors from across the country and around the world. That press conference set to begin at 11 at Nats Park. And in Maryland, many Prince George's County residents are scrambling to get their real ID before the deadline tomorrow. Many are making their way to the Motor Vehicle Administration in Bowie and are eager to get their real ID driver's license. After tomorrow, you can no longer use a regular driver's license to board a domestic flight. The Real ID will require travelers to show security-enhanced IDs to pass through airport security checkpoints. Many are supporting the law, but others don't think it's necessary.
Let's see what was wrong with the old one. I mean, I think at this point we're getting a little bit too invasive with all the things that we need to do.
If you do need to get a Real ID, you must have a current driver's license, birth certificate, social security card, and a bill or pay stub. And the White House officially announcing the 2027 NFL draft making its way to D.C.
Yes, it is. People are already preparing for the massive economic impact. Our Max Marcella has more from the National Mall, where the draft is set to take place.
We believe in investing in sports because they have helped us transform neighborhoods.
The latest investment in sports in D.C. is a big one. This is the vision from the NFL of the 2027 draft, which will take place on the National Mall. These renderings showing the future football stars and fans between the U.S. Capitol and Washington Monument.
I don't think there's ever been anything like that.
It's still 2 years away, but the excitement is already here.
This is an amazing once-in-a-lifetime event.
We met with Jaron Price, president of the Downtown D.C. Business Improvement District, hours after the announcement.
So when you think about 1 million people sort of descending on D.C. that wouldn't otherwise necessarily be there, what you see is obviously a boost in terms of hotel stays and visits, a boost in terms of restaurant spending, a boost in terms of nightlife.
Other cities have seen measurable impacts when they've hosted the NFL draft. We're still waiting for a final economic report from Green Bay, site of last month's draft, but back in 2024, the draft generated $213 million of economic impact for the Detroit region, with 775,000 people attending over 3 days.
So excited to have that sort of energy.
That energy perhaps coming next to the RFK Stadium site, first stopping at the National Mall.
Sports, entertainment, hospitality, tourism, these aren't just things that you do for fun. They have a major economic benefit to the city.
All right, it is now 6:11, honoring an iconic TV show at the ballpark.
That is right. How you can experience a part of Friends history tonight at Nats Park. Plus, student loan collections have now begun. The best way to bring your loans into good standing.
All right, what is it looking like out there, Jackie? Beautiful shot, though, but it's really cloudy.
Yeah, not only do we have that, we also have some dense fog for parts of the area, too, that I need to talk about. So we could also see a spot thunderstorm later on today. All more details right after the break.